Which QuickBooks is right for your business? That is the most common question I get and that I have received over the last 20 years serving QuickBooks clients is which is the right QuickBooks for my business? So let me go ahead and share that with you. So of course, every single business is different. And that's why I have a completely separate course called Self-Employed Tax Ready Books, where I actually cover what's called the business profile. I also cover the business accounting profile in my small business financial literacy course. The reason why that concept of a small business accounting profile is so important is because based on your uniqueness as a business owner, on the industry, on your entity type, on the product or services you sell, there is so much involved in what's called your business accounting profile. It's really hard for you to identify any technology that's best for your business until you've identified your business accounting profile. And so if you want to learn more about that, I would suggest you take a look at those courses. But I'm going to just go ahead and cover briefly and at a high general level how to select the right QuickBooks Online for yourself, or if you are a financial professional serving the QuickBooks Online community, how you will guide your clients through selecting the right QuickBooks Online for them. And I call this assessing the client for success. So the first thing you want to do is you want to understand that there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versions of QuickBooks. However, the very first version, which is called QuickBooks Online Self-Employed, is specifically designed for the self-employed 1099 contractor. It's a separate suite from the QuickBooks Online full suite. The reason why is because it is not a full general ledger tool. It's actually a cash accountability tool, which is great for your QuickBooks Online self-employed users, for your QuickBooks self-employed users that essentially have been using a shoebox or a paper and a pen and a notepad or an Excel spreadsheet. It takes them off of that and it actually puts them into a very strong and robust self-employed designed accountability tool. And so essentially that particular version, QuickBooks Self-Employed, is for the Schedule C service provider, solopreneur, sole proprietorship. Okay, it's only for service providers. It's also for that individual that usually is not only receiving 1099 income, but they may also still have a wage earning job. So they may be working part-time, receiving W-2 wages, and then receiving 1099 income. Now, one thing that's really interesting and actually very beneficial for this particular user of the QuickBooks Self-Employed software is that there is an easy way to separate business and personal transactions. What's really important is that using one account for both business and personal transactions is never a good idea, regardless if it's just your side hustle or if you're a growing business. You should always separate your business and your personal accounts. But most 1099 contractors, Schedule C, sole proprietorships that haven't been shared that by their accountants have been using the same account. For that reason, there is an option here to separate business and personal. You can collaborate with your accountant using the software. You have access to one accountant sharing with you, and you only have one user access to, because again, this is for the solopreneur 1099 contractor. You cannot capture accounts receivable or accounts payable or even paying an outside worker like for payroll, but you could capture expenses for 1099 contractors inside of here. And that's QuickBooks Self-Employed. Now, I'm going to cover the rest of the QuickBooks Online full suite, which is called QuickBooks Online full suite, but I do separate it into 2 categories. The first category is what has been the original suite for many years until essentially late last year when they went ahead and designed QuickBooks Online Advanced. So let's start here on Simple Start. So Simple Start is essentially a full general ledger accounting solution. You can do accounts receivable here. So it is good for all business owners that are growing. Now you have access as one user. So if you would need more than one user to access this particular software, that's when you would want to upgrade to Essentials. But you do have access to two accountants. So you may be thinking, why would I want two accountants to access my books? The reason why is many times when you decide to start collaborating with a bookkeeper, you may be collaborating with a bookkeeper that knows QuickBooks Online really well and knows bookkeeping really well, but then you may also be using a tax professional to go ahead and complete your taxes. And so that's why it makes perfect sense to have two accountants access your books if that's something you choose to do. And it's great for a new business starting out. This is the idea of upgrading or essentially growing into the next version. So when you outgrow Simple Start, you'd move to Essentials. And what's really important is that you understand, well, what would get me to move to Essentials? What would get you to move to Essentials is needing to manage both accounts payable and accounts receivable, because Simple Start only allows you to manage accounts receivable. Also, maybe you need more users. So maybe now you're a growing business and you have yourself and another team member wanting to access the books and update the books. So now you need an additional user. You still have access to your two accountants. So Essentials is usually the soft spot and the happy place for most of my small business owners. Now, when you want to go ahead and truly use QuickBooks Online as a very comprehensive solution, you want to take advantage of budgets and advanced reporting. You want to track inventory. This is the only version other than advanced that allows you to track inventory. You also have additional users. That's when you go upgrade to Plus. And this one is really best for that business owner, that business that sells products, that needs to track inventory and really wants to take advantage of advanced reporting and profitability tracking. And then you have Advanced. Essentially, Advanced is the enterprise level of QuickBooks Online. It's for that growing business that needs several users. You can see here you have up to 25 users. You get premium care for QuickBooks Online. You get a dedicated manager. But of course, with all of these great white glove services, you're going to pay more for that. Now, what's important is to also understand, what do all the QuickBooks versions have? And so what do all the QuickBooks versions have? And now I'm going back to all 5 of the versions, from QuickBooks Self-Employed to all of the rest of the versions which are inside the QuickBooks Online suite. So that's Simple Start, Essentials, Plus, and Advanced. They all sort and track income expenses. They all track mileage now. That's new for this year, for 2020. They all can capture receipts. They all can capture an unlimited amount of bank and credit card activities. They all allow for simple invoicing. They all have access both through web and all your mobile devices. And of course, they all encourage and allow for Intuit accountant collaboration. But what I truly believe is most important is this bottom note here. What will determine the right version for your business? Again, you need to go ahead and understand and go and look at that mind map that you're going to create with QuickBooks as the core and understand, well, what does my business require? What do I need to capture for full general ledger or for my small business accounting workflow? What type of entity type am I, and what does that type require? Do I sell products? Do I sell services? What are my scalability needs? Meaning, how much and how fast am I going to grow? Does it make sense for me to go straight into Plus? Because I know I'm going to grow into that version very quickly. Do I have specific user access needs? And again, what are my workflows?